It is the mask ordinance. Now, I've got our own Anna Beahm here, and Anna covers the city of Birmingham and has really kept up with all of the changes to this ordinance, the extensions, and that happened again today. The Birmingham City Council voted this morning to extend that mask ordinance for a few more weeks. So if you have questions about this ordinance, if you have questions about the fees, anything like that happening, please let us know in our comments. I'll be scanning them on the side, and I will throw those to Anna as you ask them. So let me know if you have questions. Otherwise, Anna, let's just get into it. What happened this morning regarding the mask ordinance?
So this morning, the Birmingham City Council had a special called meeting where they voted on one item, and that item was to extend the city's face covering ordinance to June 12th. So that means that the ordinance will still be active until 11:59 p.m. on June 12th.
And when you say that, so we know that original, or maybe I think it was the second at this point, mask ordinance expired tonight. So now it's renewed through the 12th. So that's, I think, 2 more weeks. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but 2 more weeks. And does that mean that is there any lapse in time between today and when the new ordinance starts, or does it just roll straight into the new ordinance?
No, it'll just roll straight into the new ordinance. And they met today to vote so that there would be no gap.
Got it. Now, there were also some changes to that fee scale as well, correct?
Yes. So
can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So previously the ordinance said that you could, if you were found to be in violation and the police did feel the need to arrest you for that violation, you could be fined, or I hate the term punished, but that's just what it is. You could be punished by up to 30 days in the municipal jail or a fine of up to $500. Now, that's really, really broad, up to 30 days or up to $500. That's just, there's a lot of leeway there. So today as part of this amendment that was approved today, was to set some more kind of concrete sort of fee schedule for the ordinance violations. So now your first violation is a $25 fine, your second violation is a $100 fine, and the third violation is a $250 fine. And then from your third violation on, it's $250. But counselors did say they hope it doesn't come to more than 3 times. But that's what they said as far as the fee.
Right.
There's a little more structure, not so broad.
So it seems like this fee schedule is designed to punish, as you said, using their word, to punish the people who repeatedly violate this ordinance.
Yes.
It seems a little bit less if you maybe forget your mask at home or in the car or anywhere else, but the more times that you are caught or approached by an officer about not wearing the mask, the worse your crime gets.
Yes, essentially.
So tell me, while you're doing this, I'm going to look up a story. I got some people asking, and it's Friday, so I figure we'll branch out. We'll cover a couple things today. But I got some people asking our comments about some of the numbers. So while you go over some more things about this ordinance, I'm going to be looking at our latest story about that so I can answer some of these questions. So Anna, tell us about, there's a lot of confusion because the Birmingham city limits are very zigzagged, and there's a lot of confusion about what is Birmingham Metro, is in just the area that we refer to as Birmingham, and what is the actual city of Birmingham. So can you tell us where this ordinance actually applies to?
Yeah, so I guess firstly I'll address the issue of Birmingham proper, like the actual Birmingham city limits in the Birmingham Metro. So if we go by what the census says is the Birmingham Metro, that includes 7 counties. Sorry if I get them wrong, but I believe that is Jefferson, Shelby, Walker, St. Clair, Coleman. Basically, it's this tight cluster of counties surrounding Jefferson County. I'm sorry if I did that correct, but by definition from the census, that is the Birmingham Metro. But the city of Birmingham is much, much smaller. So this ordinance only applies in the Birmingham city limits. Now, as you said, the Birmingham city limits are kind of wild. If you actually look at a map, Birmingham looks like a big slice of Swiss cheese that you just plop down on Jefferson County, and it's confusing, and it has fingers and tendrils, and It's a little wild. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, there is a map of the city limits that you could find. Now, I know that especially like along the US 280 corridor, like 280, like where the summit is in the city of Birmingham. But if you keep going just a few miles, then you're in Hoover. And then there's some patches out there that are unincorporated Shelby County. So if you're concerned about wearing a mask, or if you'll get in trouble for not wearing one, it might be good to check to see if the business you're going to is in the Birmingham city limits. Now, saying that, I know from experience, I went with a family member to the summit to pick up something from the Apple store, and they did not have a mask, and they were given a mask by the Apple store. So I know some businesses are giving masks to people who don't have them. I mean, I wouldn't expect police to come rushing out and arrest you right there on the spot. But I also know that the Target on 280 has been turning people away who come in without a mask. So it's kind of hit or miss as far as how businesses are dealing it. And then, of course, you've got this weird Swiss cheese map of Birmingham to deal with. So
I got that story up, so I will answer some of your number comments here in a second. But I do see, I'm glad you mentioned the Target. Edward's talking about the Target on 280 requires a mask, and he wanted to know if that was in the Birmingham city limits.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I believe it is too, Edward. And also let's keep in mind too that some of businesses, even if they are not in the Birmingham city limits, businesses can require that or ask people to do that. They can't, I guess, require it, but they can ask people to do it. And you can see signs on doors of businesses saying, you know, please, if you're able to wear a mask. And that can happen outside of Birmingham. They can ask you to do that.
Yes. And I'll say something else about Target. So I know the Target nearest me is the Target on John Hawkins Parkway near 459. And I've seen people with mask and without mask there. So it doesn't seem this is like a corporate Target thing. This is more of a store-by-store basis. And, of course, that Target by 459 is not in the Birmingham city limits. So.
Right. Looking at some of these comments from Molly and Justin, they're asking about numbers in Alabama. We have a great story this morning on our site about Alabama's cases and their numbers as of right now and the rise that we have seen. I will link it here for y'all to read. But for Molly and Justin, let me just answer this by telling you that so far Montgomery has added the most cases over the past 2 weeks with 719. And it's soon to surpass the cumulative total in Jefferson County, which is much larger. And Tuscaloosa County has added the fourth most cases in that 2-week span. Franklin County, I know, is something that Molly had been asking about, watching from Staten Island. Thank you so much. Please someday come visit Alabama when you can, and it's safe to travel. But Franklin County, which is in the northwest part of the state, is home to about 30,000 people, and it saw 203 new virus cases within the past 2 weeks. And at least 48 of those cases, according to our reporting, was linked to just one nursing home. So that has been the situation in Franklin County. I know we've talked a lot about that before, but just for an update there, they have seen 203 new cases in the past 2 weeks. Again, I will leave this link here for y'all. It's got some great data in it, and y'all can look at that. Another one to note is Bullock County, which is pretty small. There's only about 10,000 people there. That is in the Black Belt area of the state. And they have added, their case rate is 146.5 new cases for every 10,000 people over the last 2 weeks. So a lot of numbers, a lot of really good data in this article. I will leave it here in case anybody would like to read about it, like to see. Now, there is also some comments, and also I've heard this a lot about masks and who are you wearing it for? Are you wearing it for yourself, or is it protecting you, or is it protecting other people? Was that talked at all in the city council meeting this morning, Anna?
Yes, actually, District 7 Counselor Ms. Wardine Alexander, she had some comments about wearing the mask, and she said, you know, I would be so bought, and this is paraphrasing what she said, but she essentially said, you know, it would really bother me if I was a symptomless carrier and I passed it on to someone else because I was not wearing a mask. Now, I know that there has been so much controversy about how effective the cloth masks are, something that's not the N95 or the medical grade mask. But I mean, health experts have said that it's better than nothing. Now, I'm not a health expert, so I can't really speak to how effective they are, but I know that that spread, if you have no symptoms, is something that the council is concerned about. And it's something that they feel they can try to quell with this mask ordinance, that something is better than nothing.
Right. And if y'all have any other questions about mask and the protection, feel free to go watch my video from a few days ago with Dr. Dion from UAB. She gave some really good examples and some really good information about masks and how essentially a mask is to protect other people from you, because you might have symptoms, or you might not have symptoms, and you could still have the virus in your body. So if you would like to learn more about that or listen to Dr. Dion's thoughts, please watch that. Couple of people, including Wes, I know that the target on 280 is not in Jefferson County. That doesn't mean it's not in Birmingham. There's a lot of, again, we talk about that map, and luckily, I believe William posted a link to the city's website where you can see the city limit map, which is very awesome. Thank you so much, William. But yes, there are parts of Birmingham that extend into Shelby County. So that is something that should be noted. And I know it's confusing, but thank you, William, for dropping that map here.
Yeah, that's that 280 corridor that's kind of weird, it's just weird how
right.
even Hoover looks like a big slice of Swiss cheese.
Right.
So city limits can be difficult when you've got ordinances that are specific to city limits, not just whole counties.
Right. Now, do you know what the enforcement is like on this mask ordinance? Are police officers essentially going out and looking for these types of violations, or is the city council saying we're just going to not seek out the violations, but ticket them as officers see those violations happening?
Yeah, I know the last that I have spoke to city officials, they've said that their goal is not to round up people and arrest them. Their goal is simply to, provide people, essentially it's a means to say, hey, you need to wear a mask. It's an enforcement tool that they're not trying to use to punish people, but want to educate people. And now I don't have any of the latest, like as of today, if anyone's been arrested for not wearing a mask, but that is something that I know the last time I talked to city officials about this, they've said there have been no arrests, but I don't have the latest on that. So that's something I can find.
Got it. We'll get that out and we'll get it to you. Another question about the Black Belt area. Again, I'm looking at this reporting. I'll leave a link here you can read. But Lowndes County, which is also in the Black Belt, has added 98 cases over the past 2 weeks, which is about 100.8 per 10,000 people. So that's the per capita rate right there. But that's the second highest rate we've seen over that 2-week span. So again, this is giving all of these numbers in the different counties, and especially in that Black Belt region for the last 2 weeks. So it's got a map that is interactive, and you can see the per capita rates here. You can see it in my phone. So I will leave that link here so y'all can look at that because it gives you a lot of good information that you can read. So I don't have to read it to you necessarily. I know that, again, some other questions about masks. What is the rule, or is there a rule in Birmingham about the specific type of mask somebody needs to wear?
No. The city has simply defined a mask as something that covers your nose and your mouth. So that can be an N95 mask, it can be a surgical mask, it can be a homemade cloth mask, it can be a bandana or a scarf, or, something called a neck gaiter. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It's something that people wear sometimes when they work out, or wear it to hold back their hair. Just really anything that you can wear that can cover your nose and mouth while you're in public.
I saw yesterday I had to go to a pharmacy around near my house in the Birmingham city limits. And I saw at least one person in the pharmacy wearing she had a shirt on, but then she had a t-shirt that had pulled over her face, and the collar of the t-shirt was about at her nose, and then she wore it from there down. She might not have had another piece of fabric or anything to wear as a mask. So would something like that, just a t-shirt that you pull down over your nose and your mouth, does that count as a mask?
According to the city's definition, yes, it's covering your nose and your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Lisa is dropping another map from the city's website. We appreciate it, Lisa. Thank you so much. Again, we know that those lines are very complicated, but there are parts of Birmingham that do extend into Shelby County and surrounding counties. So as Anna said before, it might just be a good idea if you are headed out to a business to just check and see where that business is located in the city. In your mind, it might make sense that it is not in Birmingham, but it can fool you because sometimes they are. So check that because, again, the city is requiring that mask be worn in public places through June the 12th. And that is another 2 weeks from today. So 2 more weeks of mask wearing here in Birmingham. And that's really all we've got for you today. I know we've got a lot of questions about numbers. I will get that link for y'all, and we can talk about that next week. So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us today and telling us about masks. We will also leave the link to Anna's story about the mask ordinance here in the comments as well. So if you missed any part of this video, you can catch yourself up. So thank you so much, Anna. Thank you all for watching, and have a safe weekend. We will see you on Monday.
Great. Thank you, Ivana.